How's it going, y'all? It's Brian. I'm here with Father Kelly at
Precious Blood Center.
the Precious Blood Center.
So ours is a chaplaincy, so we do a restorative justice kind of work in the detention facility and pretty traditional kind of chaplaincy in the Cook County Jail. Well, let me tell you a little bit about this place.
Okay, yeah, that'd be
see
great.
See if anything kind of comes together. We do a lot of art, but it's not art therapy.
Okay.
Art for us, because we're not an arts organization, but we use arts as a form of storytelling, kind of furthering the storytelling. So sometimes, because we're trauma informed, which means we recognize that many of the young people that we deal with are victims of trauma, neglect, abandonment, physical, sexual abuse, that kind of, some of it ongoing trauma and some a singular event, being shot, being harmed in some fashion. We work with kids coming in juvenile detention centers, so we go into the facility
Okay.
and we sit with them like this on a one-to-one basis, and we kind of create an atmosphere where a young person can speak to us about his issues, about his troubles, about his struggles, about whatever, about God if he wants to. And then we do these. If these things were in a circle, this is a peacemaking circle. This is a way of a values-based dialogue where you come together and you talk about real life issues. So keeping it real. So that we do that there too, with the population of young people who are being tried as adults. So they're 16, 17 years old, 15, 16 years old, but they're housed in juvenile detention center, but they go to court in Cook County criminal courts, which is the adult facility, because they're being tried as adults. There are about 70 of those kids in juvenile detention center, about 300, give or take, of total population juvenile detention center. What we make we kind of build relationships with them while they're locked up. And then upon release, we invite them to be a part of this place in order to help them continue that journey toward doing what they need to do to get their life together. School, job, counseling, whatever that might be. So this place becomes, and that's just the juvenile component of this. We work a lot with families,
Okay.
and we do a lot with other organizations trying to promote restorative justice as an alternative to punitive justice. We're promoting and pushing a restorative approach, which says when a crime has happened, when violence has happened, what was the harm done, who was harmed, and how do we repair the harm? How do we heal the harm? And then holding whoever accountable to help do that. So we do some circles with victim offenders. They sit in the same circle, and we talk first about who we are, and then we talk about the issue, the crime, and then how do we repair the harm done. So the focus is on the victim rather than just trying to punish the kid who did the harm done.
Yeah,
So we do a lot of circles. Most of them are support circles. We have families who have lost a child to homicide. We have families who have a child incarcerated. We have incarcerated kids. We have kids who are coming out of incarceration. So we do a lot of work like that.
Yeah.
In this place, that happens here. In this place, we also do some mentoring. We just work with young people trying to accompany them, walk with them. So they come out of jail, they need a job, they want to go to school, they need drug alcohol counseling, they need mental health help, they need a lot of different things. And so we try to help them connect to those kinds of things in a more of an accompaniment point of view, rather than just say, go over there, go to school.
Yeah, it's great.
In all that relationship stuff, we recognize that kids can't always just sit here and tell you, Brian, this is how I feel, and do a very cognitive, mental explanation of my feelings. Sometimes they need to act it out, rap it out, draw it as a continuation of that story. So a kid might draw something and it reflects all the stress and strain that's going on in his life, and I can see it on the canvas.
Yeah.
And I've seen some of those things. We have a media lab down the hall, and kids go in there and they do lyrics and beats and raps, and we're working with them to help them to kind of, what are you feeling, what's the message you want to send, and how do you do that? We do our poetry via the prisons, where we do a newsletter coming out of there. So all these things are just furthering the storytelling.
Yeah.
Because we believe, and it's research shares with us, that storytelling is a form of healing. It's a way in which we journey, and when you're a victim of trauma, your life is kind of shattered. Your stories get splintered and fragmented, and storytelling helps you reconnect the pieces, and then you have a full intact story again. It may not be the same story, but a full intact story again. So that's why we use the arts
Yeah.
thing. So I say all that
Yeah.
to see if there's a way that art therapy can fit into that. And you'll have to tell me because I'm not an art therapist.
Right. Well, the main reason I'm interested in working with this group of people is that being at like an art school in general, you're gonna get two kind of artists really. The artists that actually have things to say and that are truly doing the art for, you know, a purpose. They don't care about being famous. They don't care about the money. They're just purely doing it to express themselves because words aren't enough. And then a lot of people will do like, you know, draw a little dot and be like, well, this is blah, 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 blah. You know, so it's just like, come on, you know. That's why I want to work with the people here because they're, you know, it's genuine. I like the purity of that kind of art where they truly have something to say and it just, you see it on the work. So I'd be really interested to even just, like, art therapy, I thought that was going to be my in for all this. I thought I had to kind of be in that art therapy section, but no, that's not really it. I'm just taking that course for fun, really, well, an interest. But I'm more interested in actually working with the children, not children, but working with the people here. I'd be really interested to come in and sit in on the circle session. I don't know if that would make them uncomfortable, but I mean, you know, like, I didn't grow up in a bad area or anything. I grew up in the suburbs, but I mean, I have gotten in trouble, so I feel like I could relate to these kids a little bit. I haven't killed anybody, but I've gotten in trouble. So coming in with kind of like a similar vibe, like especially the music, that's really interesting to me too because I enjoy making music. So I would really overall like to just come in, sit in on some of the circle sessions, and this would be more than just like a 2-week project. It'd be more like, you know, volunteer at least once or twice a week so that I could actually build a genuine relationship with the students here.
Okay.
So
Well,
is that a possibility?
Yeah. And if you want to use your art, like I say, we do art. We do some of the table art. It's ways, we do a restitution program. And if this is kids who got in trouble with the law have to pay back the victim.
Okay.
And we use art as a means of communication. So if you sit around, you're painting on a table, cleaning it up, getting it ready to do something, there's a lot of talk, we can go back and forth. And so we use that, and then they make $10 an hour, of which they see nothing. It goes to the victim. But then we're left with this piece of art.
Right.
And they then in turn gift that art to somebody, like a school that's got a peace room in it, or an organization that's working for peace. You know, so they'll gift, and I'll show you some of the stuff that they've done. But, and the same thing, every summer we do murals out in the community. So, again, we sit, what's their message, what are we saying, what do we want to put up on canvas, and then what do we ultimately want to put up on a wall of a building or whatever the case might be. So all that's part of what we do. But again, not for art's sake, but for healing's sake. Because the population, we deal with mostly African American. There are some Latino as well. This area is right here African American, but if you go north of 49th Street, it's Latino. Okay. So we do both African American and Latino, and we strive to work with these kids to create an environment where they feel safe, where they feel like they belong, and that therefore they're going to open up to us more, trust us more, and we have a better chance of saying, "What do you want to do?
Right.
You want to go to college? Cool. Let's take that journey. You want to get a vocation, a trade? Let's take that journey." We've had kids who wanted to go to the Art Institute, things like that. So, okay, let's check that out. So various ways in which we strive to just accompany them. Right. So it's in some ways the ministry of accompaniment, you know, but with this population of young people. Now, this population of young people is not easy to work with sometimes. Yeah. They'll stand you up. They'll say they're coming. They don't come. Their life is not ordered. Their life is very chaotic in some ways, and so. You'll see that, and it can get a little frustrating if you don't understand the fullness of their story. But we'll see. I mean, I'm open to taking. You'd have to take the lead. Diana does most of the art stuff with them. Okay. She's not an artist, but she helps them get the material together. And some of it's pretty crude. Some of it's very good. Yeah. If you see some of the stuff on the wall, or the mosaic that's above where the table is there, those are things that they did. With a lead artist, with a teaching artist. And right now we don't have a teaching artist because we're in the media and we're in the theater component. Yeah. The summertime we have a lead artist in the visual arts. Okay. So, but you said you're into music as well. So,
yeah. I find it, like, it's important for me to just work with them really just to get their story because like I said, it's like more so the dialogue and the relationship that I'm going to be able to build with the students here.
Good. When's your birthday? When are you going to be 21?
September 24th. So I got about, a
So
year.
you just turned 20. Okay.
Yeah, I
That's
just
no big
turned
deal.
20.
I mean, it's not a big deal as far as working with this population.
Like almost like a memorial or like a dedication. It's just really, I feel like that would be very powerful. Do you think it'd be
No,
interesting
we've
to
done
them?
some stuff like, not that per se, but
Okay.
it's funny you should say that because I have a mother coming this week who is doing a march, and she has all these pictures of her children who have been killed, and she wants our kids somehow to do something artistic with them.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe you could be involved in something like that to kind
Yeah,
of help that.
sounds
because
great.
Just what you're kind of saying, and I've always wanted to do some sort of memorial outside.
Yep.
I don't know what that looks like.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it'd be photos or names or a combination or poems or story, just some sort of like, almost not a shrine, but a memorial wall. You ever
Yeah.
see the Vietnam Memorial Wall? If you did-
Where is it again?
It's in
What
Washington,
state?
but I mean,
Oh,
it's just so simple, it's just names, but people, they feel the name of
Yeah.
their loved one, it's something about it that's relational.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd love to do that somehow out here. I don't know how we do it, but I'm open to doing that.
There's
What we've created, shut up.
No, it's fine.
What we created out here is a peace garden on this side, and on
Yeah.
this side a community garden, vegetables and stuff. But out here, we're really interested in saying, how can this really be a space of healing? So
Mhm.
that's why we have some flowers. We're really, you should have seen it a year ago. But so I'd be real interested in kind of pursuing that piece.
the teacher that I'm working with. His name is Michael Ryan, and he's kind of like very well connected throughout the whole city with the whole gallery scene and everything. And what he suggested to me is that there's something called the SAIC Project Space. SAIC is just like the acronym for my school, but it's just project spaces. And these are like alternative spaces, like we're talking about right now, like more like outside, memorial based, where like people walking by can see it, just like really displayed. So that's something I'd be really interested in.
Okay, let's
And,
pursue that. That's a good, I like that.
Yeah, let's pursue that. Excellent.
Let me show you around.
Great.